learn how to train your shoulders and back, follow along. All right, guys, here with one of my clients, Haley. She came in town today to really learn how to take her physique to the next level and really dial in connecting with her lats and also connecting to her shoulders. So let's get into this workout. Now that we changed off of back, I want to go to rear delt because that's the most logical thing. And then we'll finish with side. So I'm gonna do 3 things for your rear delt. Do a band, reverse pec deck, and then a dumbbell. And then we'll do side laterals with dumbbells and then do cable side lateral. So what I want you to first start teaching about is, this with one of these bands, all I want to think about is the posture setting for my rear delts in this is going to be the same as I do here. So if I'm here, so think about the handles, I'm grabbing them, right? All I'm doing from here is just making that touch my collarbone. Now if you look, my arms are like a little bit bent, but I'm not doing that. I'm not tricep extension. So slight bend, and then I just literally pull, just like that. So you can see like that's all rear delt. So let's try that. Yep. And then I want to think about just pulling that apart. You touch your upper chest, and you should be able to feel this muscle right there. 2, do 10 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. Okay, so that feeling you just had, all we're gonna do is transfer it to here. So I'm gonna set this up for me, right? So that's probably about perfect. So if you look at the alignment of my shoulder, my elbow, and my wrist. So if you look, I'm just one arm at a time so you can see it. So right to there. So if I'm into it, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shoot my hips back and lean my upper chest into this. So we're here, and right to there. No further back. Good stretch, right to there. And you see I'm kind of like on my toes, like we were with the seated cable row, and I'm leaning my collarbone into this piece, and just like that. So let's try that. I don't know if that'll be heavy for you or not. Let's just find out. And I need to raise that seat up a touch. So you see, real fast, you see the alignment, right? You're a little bit higher, your wrists are a little bit higher than here, and I'm following that. All right, too far. Come back. A little bit more, right there. Good. 2, do 20 of these. 3, 4. Last one, and good. Okay. Did you feel that in your shoulders at all? Okay. So you definitely were working your delts, but you're also working like a lot of the meat in your back here. I can't tell if it's just because we came off all of that. So jump off real fast, I'm gonna show you. So I need to see if I can raise the seat. I don't think I can. No. Okay, so sadly, in a perfect world, and I'll probably do it for this, that's what I'm gonna do. Because you were again, instead of being there, you were like here. So it's gonna tend to, if you look from the back, that's gonna get my trap into it a little bit more. Where from here, I can get mostly rear delt. So I'm thinking about taking my hands and just moving them apart. That's what I wanna think about. So let me show you real fast here. When I'm on this, I wanna try to relax everything through my shoulder blades, so everything in the middle. And I know that's a weird concept, but what I want to think about is someone punching me in the elbow to start that motion. So instead of being this way and going that way with it, it's going to make a lot of my rear back and the back portion of my back work. So it's punch here, and then I'm just thinking about taking my elbow, and I'm pushing like with the butt of my hand against this circle, right? So I'm like ramming it against this, not thinking about gripping down, but just ramming the butt of my hand against there, and then I want to think about taking it out. So if you look like, so touching my rear delt when I do this, you feel how tight that is? Now feel how loose my middle back is. It's pretty soft for the most part, right? So that's just a conscious effort of like not tensing that muscle and then thinking about keeping all the tension on my rear delt. So that's pretty complicated and hard to do. That last thing I told you just there. But in terms of setting up with that by not grabbing that like you're gonna break it and just kind of being more loose with my hand, and I'm literally, again, you know, some people say, oh, well, Chris, like you don't have any load on there, of course. But even if I have 130 on there, I can still go this way. I'm not even grabbing it, right? And that's all rear delt. I know it may be a little weird with sitting on that, but this is gonna put you in a much better position. Yep. Ah, much better. Now, think about leaving your mid-back loose and then just driving that butt of your hand against the handle. Yep. 2, right here's where you should feel it. So much tighter, good. 3, do 20 of these. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, One more. And perfect. I hope that grimace was because your delts were burning. Okay, good. All right, perfect. Now, last thing I want to do here, I'm gonna give you a little break, but then I want to do 20 of these, right into 20 of these. Now we're gonna rest. I don't want you to rush into it and be exhausted, but I want you to be able to feel your rear delt fill with blood, and that's gonna force us to do that. Because like we just did with your back, if you can learn that sensation of what it feels like, you'll know you're on the right track, right? Yeah. So it's very similar like when you train your glutes. Like my goal was to get your glutes as full of blood as humanly possible. And you're like, man, okay, that's what it feels like to have a glute pump. Like that's what we need for back and for your shoulders now. Yep. Good. All right, right into these. Good, one, right there. 2, 3, 4, perfect. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's okay to lose range of motion. Good, right to there. 2 more, 1 more, perfect. Hell yeah, much better. This is gonna sound really weird, but I'm gonna teach you the things to not do first. So the first thing is there, right? And the simple premise that I would try to teach with everyone is if you watch what muscle's on top, that's my front delt. Now watch what I'm gonna do there. Now that's on top, that's my side delt. If I did rear delts, guess what? I bend over, and that muscle, the rear delt's on top. So with the free weight exercise, any of them we do, you have to think about that, right? So if I'm here with a side lateral, that's my front delt, it's gonna work, end of story. So what I have to do is think about taking that way. So if you notice, my shoulder is in line with my elbow, but then my wrist is gonna be dead and below my elbow. So if you look in the mirror, you can see that, right? Side delt's on top, goes down to my elbow, then my wrist is drastically below, so it's there. Now, the next thing I want to think about, instead of going what most people do, the first thing to initiate it up is they do this, they do that. That's my trap, right? Literally, it's my trap. I want to think about taking my hand this way, out. So thinking about taking my hand as far away from my body as possible. So if you look at that my hands can't get any further away from my body. Literally, my arms don't get any longer, right? But most people say, oh, I'm going to get to here. Well, that last little bit is all trap. So no. There to my elbow is even on my shoulder, and then I stop. So here, just like that. I never go to there. So that's the first thing. Now, to me, this motion does nothing in between. So I can just sit them on my side. Here, stay tall. And then I'm just literally bam, 1, 2, 1, 2. Looks simple, I know, but it's not easy. Now, you want to stay relaxed all through this as much as possible. Yep. Better. It's funny when you can see that in person, right? So you see how this is hard? Right there? That's all we need. Yep. Do 3 more. Good, 2 more. Relax your traps. Relax, relax. Start over, just drop them to your side and just relax your traps. Deep breath, now go again. Good, sit them down. All right, so when it got hard, you instinctually want to go here and then there, right? So you watch my traps roll up like that. I don't want that. I want to keep these things down. And the way I do that is by always keeping my chest lifted. So I keep my chest up, they don't have a choice but to go back, right? If I start getting over it and then I start shrugging, that's when I do it. But until you get good at that, right? Once you get good at it, you can lean forward and crank here, because if I grab these, I can stay over the weight and I'm fine with it. But for now, I want you to practice staying upright and just right to there. And if you feel yourself, or if you see in the mirror, your traps get into it, literally just as I had you do, just hold them by your side, take a deep breath, roll your neck around, and then re-go. Because right now, all we're doing is refining form, cement that in your brain, and then practice it. All right, so get your wrist below your elbow. So I'm gonna help you. There, now drop your wrist. No, keep leaving them, just go like that. Get over them. Yeah, there, hell yeah, now do it again. Yep. 3 more, just like that. 2 more. 1 more, good, sit down. Good. Real quick, I will tell you this. This took me over a year to learn personally. So don't get frustrated with it. I teach it really easy, but when I do it, you're like, man, I just want my body to fucking do that. So when you start feeling your body get to there, you literally just have to go that way, right? So it's all that is just taking my side delt and shoving it on top. So some people call it like pouring a pitcher of glass, like if you had like a pitcher of like say water and you're dumping it in the cup, right? So that will get me there. I don't know if that's a really good analogy. I think like I just want to get to here and just roll my side delt on top, and that, like you see how my wrists are even with my shoulder. Now I just literally get them on top. So now they're back to below. And then what I think about is if my elbow was a board right there, I'm gonna touch this flat part of my elbow to that board. And my hands just hang underneath. Yep. And the cool thing is I'm literally watching your side delts work, so that's good. Good, go 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. So with this, I do want to round my lower back, and then I want to think about, just like we worked the pec deck over there, I'm literally just trying to take that out to my side, right? So I bend over here at the waist, and then all I think about, like, because a lot of people want to get them out this way, I want you to go right to the side. So like if you were just literally standing close to me, I'd hit you with the dumbbell, right? So it's here to there. I'm gonna step this way a little bit. So we're here to there. Again, we don't want to get back into doing this. That's my back and upper back and traps. Relax, just take them out here. And then once it starts getting hard, if I lose range of motion, straighten my arms, and I'm just here. It's not a big deal. So again, that looks really super simple. It is not, it takes a lot of practice. All right, so fully round your back. Yep. Now take the dumbbell out and hit my hand. Yep. 1, right there, yep. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, get over the dumbbells a little bit more. So drop the dumbbells closer to the ground. Yeah, no, you had it right. So get here with it. Yep. Yes. Don't do that for anything else that we do ever. But this, 100. Yeah. So really round, yes, right there, hell yeah. Now take it to the side. Yeah, hell yeah. Right there, yes. 2, right here, feel that muscle work. That's fully contracting. 3, a little bit slower. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, there it is. Now arms straight and just take them out to the side. Right there, 10 of those. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more. Last one. Good, rest, sit them down. How'd that feel? Yeah, so right, they take this and they, oh, this is great, this is good form, right? No, because what's on top? My front delt. So my front delt is on top, right? So instead, I want you to actually get over this here, and then I like to stretch it, because I can get good stretch. So that handle is gonna be on top of my right quad if my left arm is moving. And then from there, all I'm gonna do is think about sweeping my hand out, just like this. So just like that, out. We're just sweeping out. So it's really easy. And then once I start losing range, right, it gets hard, nothing's wrong with this right here. Okay. Nothing is wrong with this right here. All of that is still working that band of tissue, which is what we need you to grow. So when I think about this, I'm getting over it, and then all I'm gonna do is just like think about just sweeping your hand out. So it's again staying over the weight, not getting this way with the weight. I'm sweeping out. Same premise. My hand's gonna be below my elbow, and my elbow's gonna be even with my shoulder. Yep. Just like that. Yep. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so don't turn back. So I got you. Go. There. I got you. There. Feel that. Now go on your own. Yep. Right here. Squeeze and done. That's good right there. All right, now keep that wrist this way. Now hit my hand. Yep. Hit my hand again. One more. Good. Rest. How'd that feel? Is it burning? Yeah. Okay, good. It's hard. So when you, again, when you can visibly feel that, when that's the reason I touched it, right? Because it's gonna say, hey, fire that muscle. It didn't need to fire. It was already on. Yeah. So again, what you want to start doing is you were starting to lead this way. Just remember, I'm thinking about my pinky on this and taking it out. That's always gonna keep, if I lead with that, like the butt and pinky in my hand, it's always gonna put me in the right spot. Try that with your left hand now. So think about leading with that pinky and taking it towards hitting me in the face. Yep. Yep, that's perfect. 3, good. Feel this muscle right there, yep. 2 more. 1 more. Good, now hit my hand. Right to there, good, 1, 2, 1 more. Perfect. All right, there you have it. Back and shoulders. So if you look, the overriding theme of that is just getting her to connect with her lats and not use her biceps or traps. And then for the shoulders is to keep the traps out of it. So, which is really easy. Listen, we've all been guilty of it, guys, girls out there. It's very easy to do. And the good news is she's still so lean from her show that you can see visibly in this training session what muscles were working, which muscles weren't working, when things would turn on when they shouldn't. So this is really a great session in education because, listen, this wasn't for her. I wasn't trying to kill her in today's workout. My goal was to teach her how to use her back and how to use her delts so when she goes home, she can get into the hard work and really start to put on that muscle tissue that we need. So, Hali, I will ask you, what was it like going through that session with me?
I feel like it was very exciting because I felt more of my muscles contracting.
Of course.
And I felt a deeper burn than I've ever felt before.
Cool. You know, that's one of the things that she kept saying. She's like, wow, that really is turned on. That's the first time, I think you said that's the first time I ever felt my back.
Yeah.
And it was that superset of the straight arm pull downs and the pull downs with the mag grip. So this is someone who's very new to compete. This is her first show season ever. So it's one of those things where it's like, she's still brand new at this. So in order to help take her physique to the next level where she eventually wants to compete very competitively as a pro, like we have to fix all these things early in her competition career so that when she gets deep into it, then it's all just fine tuning at that point, right? So we can really teach her optimal ways to train, fill her muscle, make it work. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, I think a lot of girls, especially the bikini like you do, they get so obsessed with just glute training that they forget their upper body, right? So when you look at their physique as a whole, they're very underdeveloped up top, but then they have these big round glutes and it doesn't match. So that's what we're in the process of fixing for her. And I know in my heart, like, if she takes everything we learned today and applies it to her training when she gets back home, it will just make her physique really change. And when it comes time to get on stage and do prep next year for her first pro show, or sorry, first shot at becoming a pro, what we'll do is it'll really make her be much more complete head to toe. So the last thing I want to finish up with here is, you know, she's, again, this is her first contest prep that she did with me. I was going to ask her to speak a little bit about what that was like start to finish, because she did do a full off season, and then we got into a longer prep, honestly, start to finish with both shows. So what was that like going through contest prep?
Yeah, so I feel like prep mentally was a lot more challenging than what I thought it would be.
Right.
I was also worried about the distance since I'm so far away,
Right.
and then having contact with you, if that would be a challenge.
Of course.
But it was actually extremely easy. I was able to contact you, and you always responded in like 30 minutes or less. So that was amazing, especially sometimes when I would panic.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, like, the cool thing about anytime it's a first time competitor, right? There's so much unknown. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what your diet's gonna do. You don't know, like, oh, he made changes. Why? Am I behind? Am I not where I wanna be? Like, there's a lot of things that panic and go back and forth in your mind, but I think, like, what you did really well is you didn't stress about all the things that most people stress about. And I'd always recenter you and be like, hey, focus on your workouts, focus on getting your cardio in, nailing your meals, and getting good sleep. If you did that, her body changed.
Yeah.
And I think it also helped too, like, you saw such good progress that you're like, man, I'm just gonna nail the program and it's gonna keep working.
Right.
So
I know I can just rely on you, and since I had you, it made it so much easier.
Right. You know, if I'm speaking to you guys out there, right? Like, I'm not saying you have to hire me, but if you hire a coach, you don't stress about shit, right? Only thing she had to worry about was doing her meals, getting them in, training, and then taking care of her family. That's it, right? You do all that, and everything else falls into place. And I'm not saying your first show experience is gonna be what she had, because that was honestly perfect. But what you will end up with is a great physique on stage, and to be able to get the judges' feedback to take that back in the gym in your next off season and to progress. So at the end of the day, like, that's what our goals are. So I just want to thank Hali again for coming. We appreciate you coming into town and learning and getting better. And until next time, like, share, and subscribe. Triceps TV.